That nickel 9. Yeah. 59J. Let me speak my mind up. It's just me keeping it real. Keeping it 100. Let's go. Yeah.
Hey, yo, what's good with everybody, man? I hope everybody's having a productive day, feeling blessed. And like I always say, it's one life, one chance. We only got one chance to do this right. Let's get it done. This was going to be an interesting video. It's a trip, right? I knew about this about last year. They even gave me permission to talk about it last year. I still didn't. And then my name came up and I was like, okay, well, there it is right there. That's a perfect opportunity to talk about it now when it involves me, myself, and Irene. So, you know, a lot of us YouTubers that are in this prison genre, you know, we provided a lot of in-depth details, a lot of information that we've been able to obtain from streets. You know, and people were wondering, like, how is it these YouTubers that are no longer gang members, or how everybody identifies it as dropout channels, how the hell are they getting this information in the first place? So, you know, when everybody went through their whole phase where they were talking about the NF, the state and federal faction, you know, that NF was wondering how the hell we got a hold of the truth filters and the rebuttal filters going back and forth, and how we were able to kind of interpret them, because a lot of us that spoke on those truth filters and everything that was going on between the state and federal faction, I mean, we were all ex-Nortenos or ex-NF members that could interpret what those filters mean, you know, and what it looked like, and break them down and give you guys a great perspective from an inside look from people that have actually been on the inside before once in their lifetime. So the NF conducts this crazy investigation, and I heard it from a Norteño that paroled from the feds. And he was like, hey, the NF's investigating, you know, Norteños with Cashapp. And I'm like, what? I'm like, they got Cashapp under investigation? What's next, Twitter? Basically, the NF and the feds were under the impression that, you know, us YouTubers, since somehow, some way we make a substantial amount of money and we have all this money to throw at people every day, $300 to get, you know, a paragraph of information that's going to make us only 50 bucks on a YouTube video. Doesn't make a lot of sense, right? But they basically were under the impression that YouTubers were giving Norteños $300 in Cashapp that were locked up, incarcerated, in exchange for inside information. Some straight espionage, Jason Bourne ultimatum part 3 type information. And I'm like, okay. I didn't think much of it. I heard about it, and I heard the Norteño's perspective. He's like, man, like, everybody can be trusted, and nobody's being trusted based on, you know, certain information is being provided to YouTubers. Now, I have an idea. I have a great idea where it's all coming from. I didn't really care to even put it out there. I don't really care to, you know, expose anybody. But at first they had a Flacco from a convict's perspective under investigation. They think he was the one, since he was the one doing the most of the talking. So I gave him a heads up before me and him stopped talking. I gave him a heads up, like, yeah, this is the information that I received from the feds, that they're any Norteño with a Cashapp, they're looking for a specific number, and they're investigating street regimens. This is when they were trying to send out multiple filters worded a different way, and whichever YouTuber published that information publicly would determine what regimen that information came from, and then put that regimen under investigation. That was going on, so we had to be careful on what we talked about. But basically, NF members in the state and the federal faction were investigating Norteños with a Cashapp, and they were looking for a specific amount of money. Where'd you get that $300 from, bro? Who's that? Who's that? And it went on for a year. They were actually pulling Norteños' phones off the street and were like, hey, let me check a Cashapp, and looking for it, which is ridiculous, because, you know, hey, what if your baby mama said, hey, man, baby, go get a haircut and get you them new J's? It's on me. I got you, daddy. What if it came from her and it just happened to be specifically $300? That's how mad and aggravated and determined the NF has been for the past year. Because I just found out recently in Salinas Valley in High Desert, they said they got my Cashapp information. So now they're looking at Norteños that utilize Cashapp for business purposes to see if I sent them information, to find out who's leaking information. In reality, you know, when I heard that they had my Cashapp information, I started laughing. Why? Because I've never did it. It wasn't me. So I doubt anybody has it at all whatsoever. I can promise you that. But they said they got my information, so now they're questioning Nortenos and High Desert and Salinas Valley to try to get rid of the source of the problem, which I think is very unfortunate, because as NF members, finally take a step back and think for a little bit. That's not really the problem. Even though you assume it's the problem and you're mad that your information is being leaked to the public, it's no different as opposed to, going on Pacer and looking up Operation Quiet Storm and reading all the dockets. It's no different from me just looking online and just getting information from some law enforcement agency that's published it through the news media. Your business is out there, and it's always going to be out there because you're an organized crime group. Just maybe once, think of the fact that, you've deprived your people of having a voice for so long, when all you ever taught your people was having a voice was important. See, as a Norteño, it was okay to have a voice because you needed to learn how to fight for your rights. You learn how you became leadership in order to gain a voice, in order to gain all the luxuries and privileges entitled to an inmate on behalf of Northern Hispanics. That taught Norteños how to have a voice. And you guys taking that voice from Norteños. So a Norteño can't even go up to an NF member and voice his opinion without the fear of being knocked down, getting stabbed, getting DP, getting stripped of his status, and getting fined. So now Norteños live in this little isolated world where it's like, man, I can't say nothing. Can't do nothing. Can't even speak up. Norteños can't even disagree with anything without the fear and threat of being stabbed by an NF member for going against the grain. So you made it so apparent to Norteños that anything that's not supportive of your agenda or the NF is against the grain, is becoming a rogue Norteño. Thus can result in, serious repercussions per bond number 4, right? So don't get mad that Norteños found an outlet and a resource to vent publicly to each other. They're probably utilizing YouTubers to share information to the public so other Norteños can tune in and listen to it and be like, man, you know what? Homie's right. Whoever that dude is, that dropout was right. Yeah, he spoke the truth on that. That's how we all feel, but we can't say nothing. Maybe utilizing these platforms might get to some of these NF members' heads and they realize, like, you know what? We need to take a step back and analyze how we're treating our people and how we're mistreating them and how we can regain their confidence back. That's where you guys are failing at as an organization, is you lost the confidence and momentum and support from a lot of your manpower. That's why a lot of your manpower choose not to function, choose to do the bare minimum. Don't raise their hand no more. It used to be an honor and a privilege to raise your hand and put in work for an NF member. Now, you will hardly ever see anybody want to do anything for a big homie unless they're asked, unless it's demanded from them. And that's where you lost a lot of respect for your organization, when your manpower doesn't want nothing to do with your organization in the first place unless you force it out of them. That's when it becomes not proper leadership, or not any form of good leadership, but a tyranny. You guys have become tyrants. You guys have scared your people to the point where, hey, man, even if it was for $300, hey, even if it was a small amount, I hardly doubt a Norteño was giving up information and risking his life and the possibility of him getting stabbed in a cell for $300. I don't even know where they got that idea from, to be honest with you. It's just something that came from the feds. The feds talked to the states, and then a lot of people just started getting put under investigation for a $300 cash app that they were looking for. Like I said, they assumed it was, a convict's perspective. I let them know. And now they're saying it's coming from me. And I can assure you, I don't reach out to nobody, to be honest with you. I have my phases where a bunch of people tap in from prison and just give me a little bit of information, let me know what's going on, and then disappear like Jack the Ripper. And I run with it, and I share it with you guys, and you guys give me guys' honest opinion about it. But I don't go on my way asking for this information. It's just provided to me. And not once has a Norteño ever asked me for $300 in exchange for vital inside information, because honestly, I wouldn't even do it. There's been a hell of a lot more information that I've been provided that I refuse to even talk about, because I felt like if I did it, the nature of its content would only lead back to the person giving me the information, and I didn't want to put them in jeopardy. So no amount of money is worth putting somebody's life at risk. If they choose to do it and provide me with information and want it to be shared to the public, I do it to where it's never traceable and it's anonymous as hell. But that's what they're doing. They're going around asking Nortenos, let me see that Cashapp. Let me check out that Cashapp. You know, it's broken bonds, broken trust. There is no trust amongst each other in the organization whatsoever. I think it's already reached that point where NF just look at Nortenos as they do what we tell them to do. And NF members just walk around saying, we're going to do what we want to do. I think that is the basis of that relationship between NF members and Nortenos is I tell you what to do and you listen and I can do whatever I want. And I think that's what's been destroying this organization for a very long time. As long as it's been around and as long as it's going to continue to be around, so be it. There's always going to be ambitious Nortenos that are going to raise their hand and do what they got to do and make the necessary sacrifices and throw their life away. You're always going to have the young-minded, dumb individuals like myself that were willing to do it. But I just think we're reaching a point in time in this new generation, in this new era, where a lot of people finally realize after 30, 40 years, it's all irrelevant bullcrap. It's not even worth it. And the way Nortenos are getting treated on these main lines, not only by the NF members, but by the Mexican Mafia and the Southsiders, trust me, it's only a matter of time something's going to happen. And I just hope it works out for the best for them. So with that being said, like I always say, it's one life, one chance. We only got one chance to do this right. Let's get it done. Peace.